Hello, and welcome to the Delaware Tech Livestream from the 2022 Native American Day event. We're here at the Nanticoke Indian Museum in Millsboro, Delaware. We're your hosts, Taiylor Myers.
And I am Nathan Carney. We are here to give you an in-depth look at the Native American culture here in Millsboro, Delaware. Let us know down below in the comments which state or country you're residing from.
I interviewed Nanticoke Indian Chief Natosha Carmine to find out more about the tribe's history and culture. I also found out more about the Nanticoke Indian Museum's history. They opened in 1984. Here's a look at our interview now. Thank you, Chief Carmine, for sitting down with me today. I have a few questions for you. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the Delaware Nanticokes?
A little bit about the history of the Delaware Nanticokes. Well, I can tell you from 2009 going forward that I became a member of the Nanticoke tribe as far as attending their meetings and everything then. And I came at the cusp of an election year, and while I was asked to run for an office then, I said, no way, I'm not going to run. So I ran when the next election came because I wanted to know what the tribe was about. In coming to see what the tribe was about, I was a two-term tribal council member, which means I served 4 years on the tribal council, helping to make decisions, helping to lead and guide the tribe into, what they were doing at that time. In 2015, Chief Daisy, our former chief, indicated that he would not run. He would not be running for the next election. So I asked him if he had chosen or selected anyone to run. And he said he had not, so I decided to run. Therefore, that's when I became the first female chief of the Nanticoke Indian tribe. So while I felt like maybe I didn't know the history of the tribe, I also realized at that time we're making history. And we continue to make history. So what did I want to run for the tribe, the chief for? Was to be able to enable the tribe to realize that they had opportunities that maybe they hadn't explored. And what I've done as a probably milestone in being the first female chief is I have created partnerships and collaborations such as this with Deltec that you are able to film this event for us.
That is groundbreaking to be the first female chief.
Well, I didn't run to be the first female chief. However, when I was installed in January of 2016, the next morning our office sent a press release as to who had been elected and inaugurated for the positions. And I guess I didn't realize how important or popular it was to be the first female chief because WBOC called wanting interviews. And what they wanted to know is what it felt like to be the first female chief of the tribe. Well, I had just gotten installed in the office. I really didn't know what it would be like or how different it might be.
The Nanticoke Indian Museum was once a school, as you said.
A two-room school.
Could you take us through a day in the life of that schoolhouse?
Well, first of all, they had to walk to school. The heat was a wood stove, so someone came, had to put the wood in, and that was probably one of the students. They had the two rooms that went to 8th grade, but they had one teacher. So she probably had to teach one set of the children on the one side, give them instruction, keep them busy for an hour, and then teach the children on the other side and keep them busy for an hour. And by the time she did that, she probably had the lunch hour, and then they probably did it again. And they just figured they probably had chores to do before they went to school, and they probably had chores to do after school.
How would you describe the tribe's identity today?
The tribe's identity today. The tribe is represented all over the United States. We have members not just in Millsboro or Delaware. We have members from California out to Arizona, Oklahoma, Florida. I'm just trying to think of these off the top of my head. Philadelphia, Rhode Island. And actually there are members of the Nanticoke tribe in Canada. So that's one identity that I have to share of how it is today.
Are there any traditions that were carried on from the past that are still traditions today?
Yes and no. You know, our elders didn't really pass the traditions down to us. So what ceremonies we had, we don't know if those are ceremonies that they really had. So we kind of improvised some just to bring the ceremonies back, that we had something for a ceremony. Such as, there's a naming ceremony where everyone gets a native name, and there's etiquette to that. In that what you do is you pray about it, you ask someone to give you a name, you give them a gift. What could that gift be? It could be tobacco, it could be anything that you know they liked, anything native, it could be feathers. You know, we take the turkey feathers and use that for much, you know. I mean, I take turkey feathers when someone gives me a turkey, and I will let them dry. I will cure them, and that's sitting in borax soap and salt. But then once they're cured, that I know there are no more turkey lice or anything on them, we let them shake out, and then we could give them as a gift. But what we do is we wrap the bottom of it and then put some beads on the bottom. And we give that as a gift. That's an honor for us to give that.
Well, I think that's all the questions I have for today. Is there anything you'd like to add for our viewers?
I don't think so, except to support us in events that we have. Always feel free to come to the museum. The museum in the summertime is open Tuesday through Sunday or Saturday 10 to 4. In the wintertime, it's open Thursday through Saturday 10 to 3. Feel free to visit us. It's a small wonder in Delaware. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to a virtual tour of the Nanticoke Indian Museum. It is the only Native American museum in the state of Delaware. It was converted from a two-room school for Nanticoke Indian children that went from the 1st to the 8th grade with one teacher. There are 2 rooms in this museum, and we have many display cases here of artifacts from tribes from all across the United States. This case has Nanticoke artifacts. It has books about us, recipe books, crafts made from pine needles and sinew, and some other assorted beaded items made by our elders and ancestors, and also some pictures of our ancestors. In this case in particular, these stone artifacts are artifacts that were found right here on our family farms right along the Indian River. Here we have a diorama of what a typical Nanticoke Indian village would have looked like where we lived in the spring and summer. You can see the wigwams and longhouses. That's what we lived in. The men fished and we ate all of the seafood. On the stage here, we have many animals that have been taxidermied. We also have a mural that depicts the Indian River where we live, and it was painted by some of our tribal members. Behind me is a resource library that is full of all Native American books. And on one shelf, we actually have children's books. We hope that you have enjoyed this preview, and we hope that when we reopen, you will come and visit us. Our address is 26673 John J. Williams Highway, Millsboro, Delaware, 19966. And our website is www.nanticokeindians.org. Wanishi.
Welcome back. We are here at the Nanticoke Indian Museum for Native American Day to learn even more about Delaware's indigenous people.
It was fascinating to learn what life was like for the tribe in the 1800s. Chief Carmine was such a wealth of knowledge, and I really appreciate her speaking with me today.
We also learned that storytelling is a very important part of the Native American culture. I had the opportunity to speak with Ragghi Rain and to learn more about their oral traditions. Let's hear from her now.
We do not choose to be storytellers. We're chosen to be the keeper of the living stories. And they only come to life when we are willing to give up our breath. And then they take flight. Stories are powerful medicine, for they can bring joy or they can bring tears. They can help you heal or they could wound your spirits. So whatever you tell, you must be careful. for you stand on sacred ground. The stories must also give honor to Keisha Lamo Quang, the one who creates through thought. It must give honor to our relatives who have walked on, and those who walk with us, and the ones yet unborn. And so you know what you must do. Stories tell of how a key the earth was created. Stories tell our history from long, long ago. Stories still about the tricksters, and stories about us today and how we live our lives and the things that happen to us. And we know if we ever misuse our gift, it will be taken from us. So we walk in a good way, and we live in a way of woolly muskiki, good medicine.
I am Reverend John Norwood, councilman and judge of the Nanticoke Lenni Lenape Tribal Nation, the indigenous people of the Delaware Bay region. For the Lenape people, also called Lenni Lenape or Delaware Indians by the British, the turtle is an important symbol. Called Takok, the turtle represents North America, as our ancient ancestors believed that the land itself rested on the back of a great box turtle, and therefore we are taught the land is living. The turtle today remains a symbol of the Lenape people as a whole, and is also a clan symbol of our people. The turtle remains an important symbol among many North American Indian tribes, as it represents what we call our continent, Turtle Island.
There is a moment before every game, before every play, before every pitch, where you ask yourself, are you ready? dtcc.edu/athletics.
Welcome back to the Native American Day at the Nanticoke Indian Museum. One highlight of today's event is the dancing. Members of the tribe will do Native American dances to drums, music, and flutists.
I'm very interested in watching them during today's festivities.
I had the opportunity to catch up with two of the dancers prior to today's event. Let's hear what they had to say. Hello, I'm here today with Herman Jackson and Korelle Hall. We're going to be talking about some regalia today. So, my first question for you guys today is, how many different types of dances are there?
Well, there are several different types, but I can tell you about a few of the most popular ones that you'll see at powwows.
Okay.
So, for the men's categories,
you got Southern Straight, Northern Straight, Eastern Woodland. You got grass, fancy. And then there's some miscellaneous in there that nobody's really sure about.
So good. That's so many.
And then for the women's styles, you have women's traditional, both northern and southern traditional. You have jingle, which is the style that I dance and what I'm dressed with today. And you also have women's fancy.
Okay. What do these different dances represent?
So the women's traditional is an old, ancient style of dance that our people have been dancing for generations. It's slow and graceful, and the women are massaging the earth with their feet, and they are gently swaying to the music, to the drum.
Beautiful.
This dance style that I dance, jingle, it's a medicine dance. It's a healing dance, and so we put our prayers into this dress, and we are praying for healing for our communities.
That is so beautiful.
And then the fancy shawl is actually a contemporary style of dance, and it's really showing off the athleticism of our women because it's very fast and quick.
I love that.
And for men, traditionally, way back, they were done as prayer dances. Every dance you done was a prayer to the Creator. And from there, they ventured out more and more. Especially at one time, the government said we could not do any dancing. It was a form of religion. When the ghost dance come out, they were scared of it. So they prohibited all Native American dance cultures, all of our religious, and that didn't change until 1978.
Could you point out some specific aspects of your regalia that are specific to your dance type and why they're specific to that dance type?
You want to go first?
Sure. So right now I'm wearing what we call a jingle dress. And so you can see on my dress there are all of these metal cones. And when I move the dress, when I dance in it, you hear that sound. And that sound is sending those prayers up to Creator because, like I said before, this is a healing dance. And so on both of our feet we're wearing moccasins. The moccasins that I'm wearing are very specific to Eastern tribal communities. And so you see they have that little pucker toe and a center seam and the flaps on the side, which are different from the moccasins that you would see from other communities.
I like that. And you
And
as well?
me, as being a Southern traditional, the biggest thing is we don't wear many feathers. Our head feather, and that's about it. But we do run an otter trail down the back, and that'll separate us from all the other dances. About all of us wear belts and all. The bandoliers are more Southern. The ribbon shirt versus like a Northern wouldn't wear the ribbon shirt. Eastern, they go, they're them young guys, they got muscles and still. Yeah, so they show it off. Yeah. We do have one in our tribe, by the way.
You see the men wear the otter tails on their backs, and the women, we have our otters on our braids.
I noticed that. I was going to ask about that. Is there anything that's really important that you feel like our audience should hear?
What we're wearing today are regalia. They're not costumes. We're not playing dress up. We're not pretending to be something else. These are part of our identity. They take many months and sometimes years to put completely together, and they tell a story. And so when I look at this dress, for example, that I'm wearing, I can see all of the different hands that made it and all of those time and the prayers that have gone into creating this dress.
That is beautiful. I love that.
And we do it a lot. This is Native American month, but we are Native all 12 months.
Yes.
We go out, perform, do different demonstrations and stuff, schools, and just to educate. Because when we go out to schools local and talk to them, they have no idea that at the Nanticoke we're even part of our history right here. And they live right here and don't know it. And that's shameful, so we're trying to turn it around so when they see Nanticoke, they don't think of the river, they think of the Native American tribe that had this land first.
Thank you. I really appreciate y'all sitting down and talking with me today and, giving me a lot more information. Thank you so much.
It happens every day. 2,000 acres of precious farmland disappears. Buildings sprout where crops once grew, in a place that's been nurtured by Native American families for centuries. At Native Roots Farm Foundation, we're creating a public garden and sustainable farm. With your help, we'll celebrate the traditions of Delaware's indigenous communities and protect open space for future generations. Join us.
Welcome back to the show. I really enjoyed the dancing and how the various art forms get passed down through traditions.
Yes, and I'm so excited to see them perform live today at the Native American Day.
Along with the dance, the Nanticokes have a language unique to their own culture. In fact, the native Nanticoke language was proclaimed dead in 1865, but a new book hopes to resurrect it. I also had the opportunity to speak with its publishers, Ragghi Rain and Korelle Hall, and to learn more about the language and the new book. Welcome back to today's programming. I'm here today with Korelle Hall to talk about the new book and the resurrection of the language. Congratulations on the new book. Can you provide us with some more insight?
Sure. Our book is called Once It Has Been Spoken, It Cannot Be Unspoken, Kutiikiitowaakanun, which means our language. And so this book, we've been working on it for a couple of years now, and we're really excited to present it to the community. It should be available for everyone this coming late winter or early spring. And it is an introduction to the language. So there are all of these introductory lessons like learning your numbers and colors and learning family terms and greetings and phrases.
Can you tell us about the resurrection of the language?
So our language hasn't actually been spoken by our Nanticoke people since the mid-1850s. So it's been a very long time. And part of that is because colonialism and this U.S. government has stolen this language from our mouths and stopped us from transmitting it down to our children, because many of our ancestors, we had to hide in plain sight in order to survive, and so we weren't able to pass down the language. But today we're working to bring it back to our communities.
And can you tell us some common words that are used in the Nanticoke Indian language?
Mata. Mata is the word for no. I'm just kidding. I will tell you some more words. But you know, mata and ame, yes, no and yes, are some of those first words that babies learn, and those are some common words in the language. There's also wanishi, which means thank you, because giving thanks is really important.
And is there anything you'd like to add to tell anyone back home that's watching?
So I also want to let you guys know that this book, it's not just a physical book, but it's also going to have an audio component. So it's going to be an audio book so you can hear the language, you can hear it spoken, so that you know how these words are pronounced, and so you can take it and you can practice it and you can sit with it.
I would like to thank you for this opportunity today to let everyone know back home about the new book and the Nanticoke language.
Well, I also want to say wanishi to you for giving me this opportunity to tell everyone about it. And I want to give you another word, is what we say in parting from one another. We say la pitch kanawish.
La pitch kanawish.
And that means I'll see you later, or I'll see you again.
We'll see you later, Wanishi.
Wanishi.
I'm here to tell you why Delaware Tech is the best and only community college in Delaware. With over 120 academic programs, you're sure to find something you love. Huh. Like agriculture, aviation maintenance, or an automotive program that has a 100% job placement rate. What are you doing? Maybe your passion lies in culinary arts, dental hygiene, exercise science, information technologies, or respiratory care. Our nursing program is rated top in the state. Hey, you probably already know, but we have the most affordable tuition of colleges in the state. You'll be able to keep more of your hard-earned money and avoid large amounts of student debt. And with 96% of Delaware Tech graduates securing employment or continuing their education, you can be sure your experience will help you get where you want to be!
Thank you to the tribe and each and every person that's helped us today.
Thank you for watching our extensive coverage of the Native American Day.
I'm Nathan Carney.
And I'm Taiylor Myers.
Wanishi.